Hey, what is up guys? I'm the YB and those are our predictions for week 14 of the NFL. In the first game of this week, on Thursday night, we had the Jacksonville Jaguars playing against the Tennessee Titans. Usually, on Thursday night's games, the home team always had the advantage, and in these games, I feel like it will be the same. The home team will have the advantage because they didn't have to travel on a short week, and they have the advantage of the crowd. Both of those two teams have the same level of talent, and I feel like because of that, the game will go to the home team. So the Tennessee Titans will play this game at home, and I feel like they will have the advantage and win this game. But we don't have to forget that last week the Jacksonville Jaguars defense played really good, and because they played against the Indianapolis Colts offense that was playing good recently, but last week the Jacksonville Jaguars defense was able to stop them. But the Tennessee Titans have their highs and their lows. But this game is on Thursday night. They'll play this game at home, so I feel like they'll have the advantage. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 21-10. In the next game, we had the Carolina Panthers playing against the Cleveland Browns. Man, the Carolina Panthers are disappointing in the last few games. They lost 4 games in a row, and before that 4-game loss, they were 6-2, and they were in consideration for the top team in the NFC. But now that they lost 4 games in a row, I feel like their chances to make the playoffs are really low. This week they'll play against the Cleveland Browns, a team that is playing really good lately, even if they lost last week to the Texans, a team that's playing amazing right now, so there's not a lot of problems there, even if Baker Mayfield threw 3 interceptions in the first half. But still, this week they'll play at home against a team that's struggling lately in the Carolina Panthers. So the Cleveland Browns will clearly have the advantage in this game. The Panthers' offensive line has their ups and their downs. They had a lot of injury at the beginning of the season, so I feel like Myles Garrett and the defensive line will be able to attack Cam Newton, because last week he was attacked really a lot and he had to throw 4 interceptions in that game. So the key for the Cleveland Brown defense is to rush the Cam Newton. In that way, he will be pressured and you have to throw the ball away, and hopefully he will throw some picks for the Browns. So that's why this game will go. I'll give the win to the Browns by a score of 28-21. In the game after that, I have the Baltimore Ravens playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. Last week, the Baltimore Ravens played really good against the Atlanta Falcons. Lamar Jackson showed that he was playing really good, and even if this game wasn't played at home for him, he still had a way to win in this game. This week, they'll play against a much better team in the Kansas City Chiefs. Even if they lost Kareem Hunt due to the late video of him hitting a woman, I still feel like the Kansas City Chiefs offense is really good. Last week they played against a poor team in the Oakland Raiders, and it showed that Kareem Hunt was still missing a lot to this team. I feel like this game was like a preparation game for this week, because this game will be really important for the Chiefs. This game they really have to play really good, and to show us that the absence of Kareem Hunt will not change anything to this offense, and that they will still play really good. On the other side, the Baltimore Ravens offense is playing really good lately. Lamar Jackson is showing us that he's the quarterback of the future for this team, but their defense still is not playing really good. It still have a lot of improvement to do, even if they're playing really good. But still, playing against the Kansas City Chiefs offense, one of the best in the league, they will struggle in this game. So this will be a high-scoring game, and I will give the win to the Chiefs because they're playing at home, and they will win this game by a score of 31-28. In the next game, we had the Indianapolis Colts playing against the Houston Texans. A few weeks ago, I watched this matchup being one of the greatest matchup of the AFC South this year, but the last week loss to the Jacksonville Jaguars, so the Colts, made this game a little bit less interesting. Still, this game will be really good, but I feel like the AFC South division is almost in the pocket for the Houston Texans. They just have to play really good in the few games that is left in the season. And by beating the Indianapolis Colts, it will assure them to have a good shot to make the playoffs this year and win the division. So this game will still be really good, but at first I thought it will be the game who will decide who will win this division. But now, even if the Colts will win this game, I still give the advantage to the Texans because they're playing really good lately, and they're the hottest team in the league right now. Deshaun Watson and his offense are showing us that that they're unstoppable, and playing against the Colts defense that didn't play really good last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars team, who had Cody Kessler at quarterback, and were playing in the halfback position. They were playing with Carlos Hyde and TJ Yeldon. So this game was really poor for the Indianapolis Colts, and I feel like the Houston Texans will have a feast in this game. They'll play this game at home, so they clearly will have the advantage. But I hope that the Indianapolis Colts will bring out a fight in this game. They have a good team. They could still have a shot to make the playoffs this year, but it will be harder by the loss that they took last week. Still, this game will go to the Houston Texans by a score of 28-21. In the next game, we had the New England Patriots playing against the Miami Dolphins. The Patriots are a team that is playing really good in this time of this year, and especially going to the playoffs. The Patriots are one of the best teams. Playing against the Miami Dolphins, a team that have won really hardly last week's game against the Buffalo Bills. I feel like this week the New England Patriots will have an easy game against the Miami Dolphins. The Patriots offense is playing really good, and as well as their defense. Last week they beat the Minnesota Vikings team that's playing really good. So I feel like playing against the Miami Dolphins will not be a lot of trouble for them. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 31-14. In the next game, we had the New York Giants playing against the Washington Redskins. Last week, the New York Giants played a really good game against the Chicago Bears, winning in overtime. And in the other side, the Washington Redskins lost their backup quarterback, and now they're playing with their third quarterback in Mark Sanchez. This could not be worse for the Redskins, and their chance to make the playoffs this year are dead. And this game will have the advantage to go to the New York Giants because their offense is playing really good. Odell Beckham and Saquon Barkley are the future of this team, and as well as their defense is playing right now. Last week against the Bears, they played good, but at the end of the game, they had a lot of struggles. But still, they still playing really good. And this week, playing against Mark Sanchez as quarterback, it will be an easier game for this defense. So that's why I'll give the advantage to the New York Giants. And the Washington Redskins will have no chance in this game. Their offense is not playing really good because they lost two quarterbacks. And their defense is playing good, but with an offense like that, it will be a really hard task for the defense to contain the offense of the New York Giants. So that's why I'll give the win to the Giants by a score of 28-14. In the next game, we had the New Orleans Saints playing against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Last week, the Saints surprised us by losing a game against the Dallas Cowboys. Their offense didn't play really good in this game, and as their defense also didn't play really good. On the other side, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers team, last week they surprised us by winning against the Carolina Panthers. They had 4 interceptions on Cam Newton, and their offense played really good. Jameis Winston played a really good game, and this team could have a chance to ruin some teams' hopes to make the playoffs as they did last week with the Carolina Panthers. This week they'll play against the New Orleans Saints, a team that's almost certain to make the playoffs this year. And that's why I think that the Saints will have to bring out a great fight in this game because the Tampa Bay Buccaneers will really want to break some chance to make the playoffs. But playing against the Saints, a team that's playing really good, even if last week they lost and didn't play as good as everyone hoped so, I feel like this week they will bounce back. They had a longer week of preparation, and I feel like they will be ready for this game. So that's why the Saints will win this game by a score of 28-17. In the next game, we had the Atlanta Falcons playing against the Green Bay Packers. Those two teams have no chance to make the playoffs this year, and last week they lost some important games. The Falcons lost against the Baltimore Ravens, and the Green Bay Packers lost against the Arizona Cardinals. For the Green Bay Packers, they just fired their head coach and Mike McCarthy. So this is to show how bad this team is playing lately. On the other side, the Atlanta Falcons are not playing as good also. Last week they didn't play good at home against the team in the Baltimore Ravens, playing against the rookie quarterback who's playing his first game on the road. So I feel like those two teams are really disappointing this year. Still, I feel like the Green Bay Packers could come on top of this game because they're playing at home and they still don't want to upset their fans another week in a row. So I feel like the Green Bay Packers will clearly have the advantage in this game. Hopefully that they will have enough time to change a little bit their game plan and be ready for this game with a new coach. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-21. In the next game, we had the New York Jets playing against the Buffalo Bills. Those two AFC East teams are not playing really good this year. The New York Jets were playing at the start of the season with a rookie quarterback in Sam Darnold, but he got injured and was replaced by Josh McCown. On the other side, the Buffalo Bills also are playing right now with a rookie quarterback in Josh Allen, and I feel like in a few years those two teams could have a really good rivalry. But still, now there's two of the worst teams in the league right now, and playing one against each other will not be a really fun game to watch. On the side of the Buffalo Bills, last week they lost in a close game against the Miami Dolphins, a game that they should have won if they had played better in a few plays in this game. And on the other side, the New York Jets have really struggled this year. I feel like they will be one of the contenders to have the first overall pick, and this team is not playing really good, and they need the most help that they could find. So that's why the Buffalo Bills will have the advantage in this game. They're playing at home and playing against the Jets. This game will be a close game in a low-scoring game, so that's why I'll give the win to the Buffalo Bills by a score of 14-7. In the next game, we had the Cincinnati Bengals playing against the Los Angeles Chargers. The Bengals lost their starting quarterback and their starting wide receiver in Andy Dalton and AJ Green. So this year for the Cincinnati Bengals will not mean anything from now on. They could still just play some rookies and some young guys to develop for the next years. But still, I feel like this will be a really hard time for the Cincinnati Bengals in the years to come. On the other side, the Los Angeles Chargers are really hot right now. They won against the Pittsburgh Steelers in Pittsburgh last week on Sunday night. So I feel like this team is playing really good, and they have a really legit shot to make a good run in the playoffs this year. So that's why the game will be won by the Los Angeles Chargers in this game. Still, they have a really good offense, and their defense is playing really good also. So the Chargers clearly have the advantage in this game, and playing against a banged up Cincinnati team, it will be an easy win for them. And that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-14. In the next game, we had the Denver Broncos playing against the San Francisco 49ers. The Broncos are playing really good lately, and they still have the chance to make the playoff this year. On the other side, the San Francisco 49ers are already eliminated from the playoffs, and they're playing to have a better position in the draft this year. For the Denver Broncos, this team is playing really good lately. Their offense is playing good. Case Keenum is showing us that he's a good quarterback. He's not the greatest of them all, but still is playing really good. And their defense is playing really good with Von Miller and Bradley Chubb rushing the quarterback. So that's why I'll give the win to the Denver Broncos in this game. They're the better team between both of them. So that's why I'll give them the win by a score of 28-17. For the next game, we had the Philadelphia Eagles playing against the Dallas Cowboys. This could be one of the greatest games this week, but it all depends on the Philadelphia Eagles team that shows up. The Eagles this year have some really good games and some really bad games. We can have the example in only one game against the Carolina Panthers earlier in this season. They played amazing for 3/4 of the game, and in the last quarter they completely fell off. So since the Philadelphia Eagles this year have really their highs and their lows, and I really hope that the good team of the Eagles will show up in this game against the Dallas Cowboys, because the Cowboys are playing amazing lately. Last week they beat the New Orleans Saints at home in a Thursday night game, and their defense played awesome. They didn't allow Drew Brees and his offense to do anything in that game. And this week playing against the Philadelphia Eagles, it will be the same thing for this defense. I feel like they will be able to contain Carson Wentz and his offense. And the Dallas Cowboys offense with Ezekiel Elliott and Dak Prescott, and also Amari Cooper, who's showing us that he's playing really good when he's not in Oakland. I feel like this team is one of the hottest teams in the league right now, and I feel like they could easily win this game. But as I said, it also depends on the Eagles team that shows up. I feel like that because this game is playing on the road for Eagles, they will have to play really good in this game, and the Cowboys won this game by a score of 28-20. In the next game, we had the Pittsburgh Steelers playing against the Oakland Raiders. Last week, the Raiders surprised us by playing a close game with the Kansas City Chiefs, but at the end, they lost that game. On the other side, the Pittsburgh Steelers lost in a close game against the Los Angeles Chargers on Sunday night at home. And this week, playing against the Oakland Raiders, they want to bounce back and play a really good game. Playing against one of the poorest teams in the league this year, the Pittsburgh Steelers could really fix some things on offense and on defense and finding out what's working and what's not working. I feel like this game could be a really good game for the Pittsburgh Steelers to prepare for the playoffs this year. And I have them winning this game by a score of 28-16. In the next game, we had the Detroit Lions playing against the Arizona Cardinals. Last week, the Detroit Lions played against a tough team in the Los Angeles Rams, and they pulled out a great fight. Even if they lost that game, they still played really good in some plays, but at the end, playing against the Los Angeles Rams is a really hard task for them. On the other side, the Arizona Cardinals play also a really good game by beating the Green Bay Packers. The Cardinals offense is showing up that they could be a force in the future with Josh Rosen at quarterback, but unfortunately they lost Christian Kirk for the rest of the season with an injury, and it will be a hard task for him to develop in his young career. But still, Josh Rosen is still healthy. He will still have a lot of plays to make to develop in his first year in the NFL. On the other side, the Detroit Lions are a team that is not really good. They had the chance to make a good run to the playoffs at the beginning of the season. Most of the scouts said that they could be a really good team, but they didn't show up as we hoped so. So that's why I feel like the Cardinals came in this game on the top because they're playing at home, and playing a game in front of the fans will be a really fun time for them to win a game. So that's why the Cardinals will win this game by a score of 17-10. For the next game on Sunday night, we had the Los Angeles Rams playing against the Chicago Bears. The Rams team is playing awesome lately. They are one of the best teams in the league, and playing against the Chicago Bears team, who last week they played a good game against the New York Giants, but still we didn't find that edge to win a game against the Giants. This week, probably Mr. Trubisky will be back to play, and playing against a good team and having not played for a few weeks, it will be a hard time for him to develop the playbook and refine his spots. So the Rams will have clearly the advantage in this game, even if this game is played in Chicago in the cold weather. The Rams will clearly have the advantage in this game, so that's why I give them the win by a score of 28-17. And finally, in the last game of this week, on Monday night, we had the Minnesota Vikings playing against the Seattle Seahawks. The Seahawks teams and the Vikings team are two of the greatest teams in the moment in this league, and both of them are in the wild card for the moment. This game could be really good to see which of those two teams could have the 5 spot in the NFC wild card and will have the advantage in the front of the other team. This game could be a really good game. Both sides, their offense are playing really good, and their defense is also showing us that they are a really good defense. So this Monday night game could be an awesome game to watch, and this game could be one of the greatest games this year. I hope that he could compete with the game that we had when the Rams play against the Chiefs. But this game will not be as ice cold as that game, but still I feel like those two teams could really bring out a great fight and hopefully to go to the overtime and have a thriller game. Even if it doesn't go in overtime, I still hope that this game will be a really good game. And those two teams are playing really good, so I'm pretty sure that this game will be really good. This will be a really hard time to me to choose a winner in this game, but I feel like I have to go with the team that is playing at home in the Seattle Seahawks. They will play in front of their fans, and they clearly will have an edge in this department of the game. So I feel like this could really make the Seahawks have the advantage in this game. So that's how they will win this game by a score of 28-27. Okay guys, those are my predictions for the week 14 of the NFL. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'm Double IB, I'm out.